My name is Mark Fratto, and I'm the voice of the Washington Commanders at FedEx Field. You're listening to the Command This podcast with Steve, Dev, and Phil.
What's crack-a-lackin'? What's the good word, everybody? It is January 11th. Happy Thursday. My good
Thursday.
Padres. Welcome to another episode of Command This. This is episode 249 for your boys. We're calling this one, and then there were two. The Washington Commanders GM search is now down to 2 personnel. We'll talk about that here in a second. But, we like to do a little bit of pleasantries before we get started. So, fellas, what's the good word? Dev, I see you munching and sporting the Knicks gear. I still rock my Wizards gear, but it's a little bit hard to wear. I'm not gonna lie. Got a couple people in the chat here. Yam says, probably going to miss the show live, but I had to drop by. That said, I'm fine with either of these two. It's a new era. Thank you for tuning in, Yam. Terrence Perry, what is good? Thank you for joining us. Terrence is our Eagles friend of the show. He's a real one. Hope he's doing well. Hope the family, hope the newborn's doing well. Hopefully you're getting a little bit of sleep. He also said the new era begins. Can't wait. Yeah, man. When the East is good, the NFL is good, I think. NFC beast, the East, it hasn't been that way in a while, unfortunately.
Well, since we're not really talking about a game coming up this week or anything.
It's kind of nice.
I will start off with this. A sandwich walks into a bar. The bartender looks at him and says, "Sorry, we don't serve food here."
That's pretty good. We should
close drums, close curtains.
We need to do this to see if we can get the next person to laugh. Try to start something new. See if we can get a couple jokey jokes here. Dev, you're a man who always had jokes. I
got one. What do gay horses?
No, I see you beat me to it. I'll say you got a PG-13 joke you can open us up.
Yeah, with. This is PG-13. What do gay horses eat?
Hey.
Never gets old.
Never gets old, huh?
Yeah. Man. What is a dinosaur's ex-wife's name?
Say it again.
What do dinosaurs call their ex-wives?
What?
I have no idea.
Tyrannosaurus X. There you go, kids joke.
Did you say Tyrannosaurus X?
Tell it to your kids, Steve. You be a hero at school, bro.
Yeah, I we have some of those funny kids jokes, but they're so like G-rated and
remember those little popsicles you get and they tell a joke at the end of the popsicle, you get the joke.
Yeah.
Why did the blonde have square tits?
Wow.
Why?
She forgot to take the tissues out of the box.
Why did the blonde get fired from the M&M factory?
Why?
Because she threw away all the W's.
Yeah, I've
heard that one.
What about W's?
Have you heard of the new movie called Constipation?
No.
It hasn't come out yet. There you
are now rocking.
Thank you.
Right. You're now rocking with the best. Why couldn't Barbie get pregnant?
Because she was Ken.
Because Ken didn't come in her box.
Because Ken comes in a different box. I was like, I know this one.
There you go.
Oh man, that was a good one. I'm going to use that one.
Yeah, it's kind of like
on a kid too to see what they get. I was joking. Hey, Toby, come here. She's like 10. She loves Barbie too.
By the way, if you're watching this from Facebook, thank you very much. Please authorize StreamYard to have your profile permission. It's at the top of the post that you clicked on this. Let's say hi to some more folks in the chat. Todd Samuel, what's up, Todd? Our resident Jalen Daniels #1 super fan says, I want to make a trade with Seattle, John Allen, and a 4th-round pick for DK Metcalf and a 6th-round pick.
What?
I don't know if that's
fair. That's not even.
Hold on. Look what he's doing.
Yeah, I would do that.
I would
do it because we'd be robbing them.
Do it. But no, see what he's doing.
Yeah, Seattle would do that shit.
We're giving them a 4th. They're giving us a 6th. So you're kind of making up for the difference between DK and John Allen with a two rounds up. So
you're trading a 4th for DK. You're trading John Allen for a 6th.
Essentially. So I doubt that.
Look at it that way, yes. But
I would never trade John Allen for a 6th.
That we win that trade.
I would never trade John Allen for a 6th. If you look at it that way, I would trade John Allen for DK Metcalf though.
We definitely win that trade, but I don't see Seattle doing it. Yeah. Deb, Yam says I don't like the Knickerbockers, Deb, but I respect it.
The what Bockers?
The
Knickerbockers.
Remember Andy?
Why black people
Knickerbockers? Why?
All right.
Commander Nash, Jay Nash, his man, DK and Terry. Wow. Yeah, not gonna happen, but that'd be cool. Yam says the Ted needs to sell the Wiz. Todd's good with either of these guys. We're gonna get into that in just a second here. Marcus Edlin, what's up, Marcus? Remember, check out his Facebook group, SportsView 2, always sharing the content. Thank you, Marcus, for what you do. Looks like Todd has jumped over to YouTube. Thank you, Todd. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit that like button. We would greatly appreciate it. Todd Samuel says, looks like Caleb is getting cold feet and thinking about sitting out the 2024 draft. So he has
I wouldn't say feet so much.
4 days.
I don't think it's so much cold feet as it's big money. He stands to make more money. Staying one more year in college.
Does he have an extra year of eligibility? I don't know if he even does. Does he have an extra year of eligibility?
Yeah, he got another year. Well, he's only played 3 years.
Oh, okay. Well, check this out. There's a tweet out here. I don't know if this is legit. Like I said, this is a disclaimer. We don't pretend to. We cannot say everything that's on this show is actually legit. But this tweet out here for the audio crowd, I'll just read it to you. It says from NFL Rookie Watch, Caleb Williams has 4 days left to make his decision, and many NFL scouts believe Williams is 100% going to declare. However, his father has made it clear Williams could forego the draft if he doesn't like his options. Williams is the current favorite to be the #1 overall pick. With that, whether that be the Bears, Commanders, Patriots, or another team yet to be seen.
So let's talk about that for a second. All right. If you're the #1 overall pick, unless a significant trade has happened, you're never going to like your options
because they're always going to be bad. Yeah, unless like this year, Phil, where let's say because the Bears, they have Carolina's.
Well, the Bears aren't that great either.
They're not, but had they it would have been good. It's crazy.
Yeah, but if they would have been good, they're not drafting a quarterback anyway.
Yeah. Has this ever happened? Has anyone ever sat out a year because you're like, you know what? I don't like any of those teams. I'm going to wait a year. Has that ever happened?
I think it has. I just don't think that actually has been.
I don't think they announced it.
I don't think it's been verbalized because I think that when it has happened, it was rumored and it was pre-social media and people always running their lips about stuff and fathers getting so deeply involved in speaking to the media.
And we live in a different world now. So, I mean, everything is now, like you said, social media. We didn't have that back then. So when someone made that announcement, it was either done at a press conference or that agent told someone on ESPN, or like it was very deliberate. It was no leaking. It was like it came out because it was supposed to come out.
Todd, I'm going to answer your question. He asked, didn't Elway do that? No. What Elway did was Elway said, if the Colts draft me, I will go play baseball for the Yankees. The Colts drafted him, He says, I'll go play baseball for the Yankees. So then the Colts traded him to the Broncos.
That's what was coming to my mind was John Elway, and I couldn't remember the backstory altogether.
And actually, yes, it did happen. Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson was drafted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 1986. He refused to report, went to go play baseball for the Royals. And since he never signed a contract, he was eligible to be drafted again in 1987, in which the Raiders got him.
There you go.
I knew it happened before.
Finish your joke. So we started off the episode with you got jokes. We're gonna try to do that every time. A little bit icebreaker, we don't take ourselves too seriously on this show. So if you got a joke, put it in there. But Terrence, why are black people so tall? Please finish the joke in the chat.
I'm thinking Edward's gonna argue that with you.
My Greek counselor died. He was so good, I don't even care.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, it took me. I thought you said Greek. You said grief. That's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, we got T-Ho.
Yo, been a long time.
Long time no see, bro. I don't think we've talked to you in forever. Man, it says it's been a while. How's it going? I'm excited for the new hire in the front office. I hope we hire both guys, if not Adam Peters, my personal hire as a president of football ops, and Ian as a GM. Yeah, so it's like art and science, right? Some teams have a president of football ops, some teams have a GM, and some teams that's the same person, and we don't know what they're going to do. We have no idea. I don't know. I don't know. We're going to talk about these guys in just a second.
I don't think that we're going to be able. You're picking one out of those two
because they're both probably worth a GM job somewhere in the NFL or president of,
Well, the president of football operations is the de facto GM in this case.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just going to have too many cooks in the kitchen if you get a president of football operations and a general manager and a head coach. Too many cooks.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the breakout of the titles. Ron was the head coach. Yeah, two general managers. Mayhew did rookies, and Herney did professional scouting.
Yeah.
One of the things that I broke it up.
Yeah.
Either way, what gets me though is they're keeping both of them on until they figure this thing out.
Well, yeah, no sense just leaving offices empty.
Yeah.
There's still work to do.
Yeah.
So, Marcus Edelin talking about the Caleb Williams thing says that I think him and his father are discussing whether or not he'll get more money with boosters from USC. Welcome to the NIL era. Yeah.
I mean, are you sure he has an extra year of eligibility?
Yeah, he definitely can come back.
He has to. This would not be a discussion otherwise.
Yeah, he definitely can come back. He only had 3 years.
But think of the
That's
risk.
right. That's right. Williams is a junior.
He's a junior.
Yeah. But why would you set out the final game of the season? The bowl game.
Right. It'll be a big mistake.
That was the indicator that usually the guys that do that are coming up.
And then the quarterback replacing throw like 6 touchdown passes. The guy
he threw 6.
Yeah, I guess
all out that game. So
they only had like 19, 16. They went 16-9 or some shit. 16 to
Somebody's replacement went out there and threw touchdowns.
It was Caleb Williams' replacement. A lot of the replacements went out and did that.
Not in the bowl of this low. We only had 16. Don't have 16 points. They went 16-9 or some shit. Or 18-9. They weren't going 28-9.
Well, and then they went on to make those
I'll tell you.
comments about, oh yeah, we feel better as a team, blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? I don't know. I will say that Jaden Daniels' replacements threw for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns and an interception. If we wouldn't have played a replacement game.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Poke it, Todd.
Miller Moss. Yep.
Yeah, he threw 6 touchdowns. Yeah.
Yep. 6 touchdown passes.
Yeah, Louisville sucks, man.
They beat Louisville.
Damn,
Deb, you should remember
that. I was thinking in my mind, I was thinking of Florida State game, so I said that. I was thinking, nah, man, Florida State won like 16-6. That was Florida State I was thinking of. Yeah, USC won like 42-28, man.
Jaden Daniels' backup was Garrett Nussmeier. He was 31 for 45, 395, 3 touchdowns and an interception.
Damn, when a quarterback comes in, hasn't played all year, and does that, it really, to me, it actually makes me question how much of that team's success can be attributed to that quarterback. And when the guy can just step off the bench and just put up your numbers.
Yeah.
So that's just my personal belief on that.
What's up, Juan, JC, Arias? You're what it do. Superfan Juan. Hope you get fan of the year, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. He says Caleb Williams to DC. I'm all for it. He's all for it.
I told you I either want him or Harrison. I want the best player in the draft. I wonder if Davis can sneak into that after these workouts.
Davis.
Who are you talking about?
Daniels.
Oh,
Daniels.
Yeah. Sorry.
He might.
Speaking of so refresh everyone's memory. Who are the two people that Josh Harris brought on to help with the GM search?
Bob Myers and Rick Spielman.
Bob Myers is from
the Golden State Warriors, and
Spielman was the former Vikings. That being said, check out this video, which features Spielman. You ready for this? Oops. So I'm sorry. Meant to make this bigger. Let's go. Here we go.
Last year's draft class, Caleb was the first quarterback taken, right?
Yes.
The one before that, Trevon Walker went first. So certainly.
This is Rick Spielman, by the way. Okay. You guys got it? Can you hear it?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
What about 2021 when Trevor Lawrence went first? You taking Trevor or Caleb?
Caleb.
2020, Joe Burrow or Caleb?
Caleb.
Wow. 2019's Kyler, you're taking Caleb there. 2018's Baker, you're taking Caleb there. So you probably have to go back to, I'll go to 2012, Andrew Luck or Caleb.
That's a toss-up for me. Because I thought Andrew Luck was one of those generational franchise quarterbacks. But I would be real close, but I would probably go with Luck just ahead of Caleb. But right there, 1A and 1B.
1998, who you got? Peyton or Caleb?
Caleb.
Over Peyton?
Peyton was back then, that was in vogue, the pocket passer. Caleb, the notch up just because of the athleticism.
1983, you were in your 20th year in the league by then. Elway or Caleb?
Oh, they're similar type players too.
Caleb. Oh my God, you're going back like I.
You get the point. So what reason why I brought that up and why it's important while we watch that 57-second clip is because Spielman is now an influencer to whoever becomes the GM. And if he made that video there, I don't know when that video was. Okay. I honestly, I have no idea. If someone else knows, please put in the chat, but
that's high praise.
I don't know if it's a PR stunt. I don't know if he made that after he came on for the Commanders last week. I don't know.
But his job has nothing to do with our draft. He's helping us find a GM.
Correct. But
it is a GM in the league who's saying this.
Yes. And if he's looking for a guy, maybe this guy was the GM on the shadow GM that Harris was consulting all year. You know what I mean? Didn't we always say there's probably some guy in the shadows who's consulting Josh Harris throughout the year of like, man, we should keep this guy. We shouldn't keep this guy. We thought there was one, didn't we? I mean, someone had to be. He even said someone was advising him, didn't they? Earlier in the season.
I don't remember. I remember there's talk that they were already having preliminary discussions with people for the GM position coming up. Like they already, I don't know if they're already assembling names or assembling a team, but it was already, the wheels had already begun moving in the early processes weeks before the season ended.
Okay, fair enough.
But they didn't, but there was no details.
Yeah, I got you.
But we had met with people in Los Angeles during the week of the Rams game.
Yeah.
Harris and company had met with people in Los Angeles. I just don't know who.
Yeah. What's up, Cat? Cat watching from Twitter. Said those glasses are freaking sweet. I'm not sure talking about minor feels, but we both appreciate it. T-Ho said he's interested in Adam Peters more than Ian Cunningham. Both are legit, but it's hard because these are elite minded GMs. Phil's going to talk about these guys in just a second. Todd says, is it true we only have 26 players on a contract? No. During that clip I counted, we have 41 players on a contract right now, which I don't know if that's average. It's probably close to being average. I'm sure a lot of contracts run out. So 41, if you go to Spot Track, 41's is where it sits right now. So
I
could
mean, it's supposedly, I mean, 26 was a number that was being floated out there, and
I had 26 NFL worthy players.
Now, listen. It's 41, but 4 of those have been signed from the practice squad right after the season ends. So you know how they can bring up people at the very end. So Drew Fields, Julian Good-Jones, Josh Pryor, Jalen Harris, Abdullah Anderson.
Did he get a profit sharing check?
So what?
Did they get a profit sharing check if they're on the roster at the end of the year?
Who?
Do they get
they do get a roster bonus.
No. Marcus said, as a guy on Twitter did a film breakdown of Daniel, said he didn't throw too much into tight windows.
Mark Miller, who I have a love-hate relationship with.
Yeah.
But
there's some now. Todd says Jaden's a beast. I don't want to get too down the quarterback rabbit hole. We can talk about it for a few minutes. Under the right circumstances, I would be totally okay with Jaden Daniels. If you get an OC like Todd Monken, who would be willing to design an offense around his strengths, I'm all for it because he would have the highest ceiling of all the quarterbacks in that system. But if you're going to put him in a traditional I don't see it. So you got, but like I said before, let's wait for the GM. Let's wait for
He doesn't really run a funky system. Jaden Daniels though. He doesn't it.
No, he just runs a lot. He doesn't run. He runs to run. He takes a read. He runs. These other guys, they run, they scramble, they create, they throw. And those stats we showed, huh?
He had over 4 bills, man, in the air,
and 40 touchdowns too.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking him. He's very
just to kind of cover some of the quarterback discussions before we get to talk about GM. I'm going to move on to this comment right here. Todd Samuel continuing his one-man PR campaign for Jaden Daniels. Caleb is the same height as Ham. It's a no for me. Caleb is a crybaby. Caleb is 6'3". Sam is 6'1".
Drake May's 6'4" too.
Okay, and so is Jaden Daniels 6'4". All right.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams isn't 6'1".
I don't know. I wait to the combine because some of those
do come up. Well, let me just double check.
Forbes measured 160 at the combine. The Commanders haven't listed like
take that back.
185.
I'm sorry. I was thinking Michael Penix.
Caleb is 6'1".
Caleb is 6'1".
Yes, correct.
But height does not really mean anything. He's the same height as Sam. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Guess who's the same height as Sam? Drew Brees.
That's right. Marcus said Darren Orlovsky said that he has Caleb Williams as the top quarterback. He's got May slightly over Daniels because May reminded him of Justin Herbert.
Yeah, how many playoff games Justin Herbert
I've heard that. Well, Herbert hasn't exactly been the greatest.
I don't want to hear his shit, man. That motherfucker has a great talent around him.
Defense.
I'd still take him in a heartbeat.
I would too.
I'd trade for him in a heartbeat.
I would. I would too. If we end up with Justin Herbert, I would not be mad.
Yeah.
I feel like that guy would be a good Drake May. I think he'd be a good quarterback in the NFL, man. I just feel like at number 2, I'm striving for great.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather miss on great than just end up with good.
Well, I mean, even Rio Robinson said that if May hits, he's going to be he's athletic. Phillip Rivers is his ceiling, which means he's a perennial playoff quarterback.
Yeah.
Right. And if he's an athletic Phillip Rivers, he probably goes even further because Phillip Rivers was wearing cement shoes his entire career.
He had no ACLs or some shit. I mean, this was in both knees or some crazy shit. Something's going on.
Yeah.
T.O. says that he's all for if we drafted Caleb Williams DC. He's very.
I'm all for if we trade that number 2 second round pick for fucking.
But many people think Caleb is a bust. I don't get it all. The people who think Caleb's going to be a bust are your Todd Samuels. The people who are Jaden Daniels or nothing, right? Because
they saw he painted his nails. They saw that he was crying in the stands after a loss. Like they say, these are all red flags.
He's a typical zoomer.
Because he shows emotion.
He's a zoomer. Then he paints his nails and he cries. I mean, that's every Gen Z kid out there. They all paint their nails and cry. The only exception is my son. That's because he's 18 going on 80.
Yeah. So here's a question for you guys, though. People have been having questions about all 3 of these guys. We're just talking right now, May, Daniels, and Williams. If there's questions around these guys, like, are they really the guys? Like, remember when Robert Griffin and Andrew Luck came out? those two were unquestionable. Like, these guys are going to be it. But everyone has questions about all three of these guys in some way, shape, or form. There's no consensus that.
It seems to be the consensus amongst draft experts is it's Caleb.
Correct.
And then we have a discussion.
Amongst fans, there is a huge. You're right. Amongst the experts, it's Caleb and everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Amongst the fans, it's questions and yeah, I don't get it. This is Facebook user. This is actually Ronnie White. Ronnie, go to the top of this Facebook page and just click on the StreamYard link at the top. I said before leaving a comment. So it gives Facebook permission to see your name so we can interact with you on here. He says, just take your time, select a good coach, general manager, and have a great draft. That's it. There's no point in getting emotional. I'll give you the bell on that one because there's no point in getting emotional. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know the system our offensive coordinator and head coach are going to want to run. We have no idea.
The only thing you see, and like I said, the thing about how Jaden Daniels never had to throw into tight windows. Do you know who else had that same thing on their scouting reports?
Who?
Bo Callahan.
Will Levis.
Dwayne Haskins never had to throw in college. Never threw through tight windows.
Here's the difference between those two, though.
We're 6 yards wide open.
The difference between those two is that we saw Haskins basically for 1 year. We saw Daniels for about 3 or 4. It's just like Caleb. He's just getting overanalyzed, bro.
Blowout year until 1 year.
Daniels only had one good year.
But he played
one good year.
He played a few years though. He got hurt.
Same thing. Yeah, same with Penix.
But I'm saying
Caleb had 3 years. Caleb has 3 years.
Yeah, Caleb. That's why I don't understand why anybody would take Caleb anything other than 1. He's been amongst the best players in the college since he stepped in college. That's all you really need to know. 120 touchdowns in 3 years, bro. It's 40 touchdowns a year.
Yeah,
like that's who you want to bust. That's the pick you want to bust on. If you bust, shoot for that shit. Don't be like, well, I got a guy I think could be an all-star every year. Fuck that shit, bro.
Yeah,
I want fucking superstar, dog. I want you to be like, man, I do not want to play this motherfucker. That's what I want. You know what I'm saying? I don't want just an good player. We got a whole team with good players, bro.
Yeah, I don't want to be just
a guy who can do the
dream medium. Who says that shit?
I want somebody who can play quarterback at the NFL level, at a star level, undeniably.
Right, first day, man. That's why I said at number 2, man. I have no doubt that Drake May is going to be a good quarterback. I think he's going to be a really good player, man. But at 2 overall, bro. At 2 overall, man, you got to give me a difference maker. Day 1, dog. You got to give me somebody that if he fails, we ain't gonna be yelling for fucking Hal. You got to give me somebody, bro. And that's why I said, if you think that there's any chance in the hell that Hal could beat this guy out day 1, draft Harrison and then draft McCarthy or somebody else in the fucking second round, or trade back in. It looks like Penix might slide. Trade back in with those 2 twos, or trade one of those 2s for Fields, man, because Fields is probably better than anyone coming out of this draft. That quarterback not named.
Give me Penix
sliding day 1.
Give me Penix sliding the number to the second round, please. I will take him in the second round. Give me Marvin Harris.
Trade back in to get the extra year with him.
Yam says if we get the right coaches in place that know how to use and plan for their guys, that's the most important.
What if Harbaugh gets the job and decides, hey man, I'm going to get my guy McCarthy in the second round?
You know what? I'm okay with that.
And I'm taking Marvin Harrison, who's
I'm okay with it.
We're screwed. I think McCarthy is a terrible quarterback.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But what if he feels that way?
Inaccurate as all hell. I'm sorry.
I don't doubt that Hal could beat that guy out. I don't doubt it. I don't think Hal hasn't shown me that he's a good quarterback, but he has shown me he's very capable if you put him in a good circumstance to be good. You know, he has shown me that much. As far as the talent perspective, physical talent, he has the tools to be a good quarterback. You got to get the rest of the shit together, bro. You got to read defenses faster, trust your legs, and get the ball out faster. You got to do those things. You know what I'm saying? But if you telling me if McCarthy comes in here, dog, in the second round, I'm not sure that Hal doesn't beat him out, at least to begin with.
And then we're back where we were last year. Then why'd you draft him? It's a waste of a draft.
Right. That's what I said. If you're going to
draft McCarthy in the 3rd or 4th, sure. But then we've gained nothing at the quarterback position.
Man, you got $90 million, dog. Go get Kirk or fucking Russ.
And don't draft JJ.
I would.
Todd says, I don't want Ben Johnson because he's a North Carolina guy. I don't understand that comment. He's from North Carolina.
Todd does not want anything other than Jaden Daniels. He's afraid that Ben Johnson would draft Drake May.
I was out on Jaden Daniels too till we got the second pick. If we said 4 or 5, I was Jaden Daniels here.
Ben Johnson has the same career path as Sean McVay. Ben Johnson played quarterback at UNC. Okay. He has the same coaching career path as Sean McVay. That's why he's so intrigued. He was at the 2009 Boston College, 2011 Boston College. He was an offensive assistant in Miami from 12. He was the assistant quarterback coach 13, 15, tight ends coach 15, assistant wide receiver coach 16, 17, wide receiver coach 18. 2019 went to the Lions to be offensive quality control. Tight ends coach 20 to 21, pass game coordinator 21, OC this year. So he has that same path as Sean McVay, and that's why he's so intrigued because look what he's doing. I mean, Jared Goff, I don't think he's a phenomenal quarterback, but he's decent. Ryan Elias, what's up, Ryan? From YouTube, thank you for joining us. Said I'm just excited about the buzz and the coaching candidates. Haven't been excited for a long time. Yep. Deluxe says there's questions about RG3 and Baylor offense and his wide receivers because Art Miles just ran that fun and gun bombing and shooting. Dev, you are muted.
Oh, man. Yeah, that was a weird, funky offense, though. Daniels doesn't play on one of those kind of offenses. That's what I'm trying to say. He doesn't really play LSU doesn't run a weird offense.
No, what offense does he run?
It's just a regular ass like Philly and shit like that. I mean, they don't really. Every play isn't a read option. If that's what you're saying, it's not like you know.
No. But I will say is the one thing I've started to watch film on Jaden Daniels. My one criticism, and this is something that will get you killed in the NFL, is that when he starts rolling, he starts moving, he's looking to run. He's never looking to throw. He's going to miss receivers downfield, and he does do this. He misses open throws where he can get 20 or 30 yards because he's trying to run for 7.
Yeah,
he's so far,
fast, dude. He's
so far. That is my from what I've seen. Now, like I said, I haven't finished mine. I've only started watching film on these guys, and I started with Jaden Daniels because he's the name that has all the buzz, fan base buzz. Yeah, because he's an exciting talent.
Well, at four, he would be a good pick. I wouldn't pick him at 2. I mean, I would pick him at 2. Honestly, I pick him at 2 before I would May because it goes with my. I'd rather pick a guy who has the highest upside at 2.
I'm seeing a lot of buzz of Jaden Daniels going to the Giants at 6.
Man, hope not. I don't want to go against that guy, though. I got a bad feeling that guy's going to work out, bro. I think that guy's going to, unless he gets hurt. That's the only thing I'm worried about is a little frame. But other than that, I would hate to.
I don't want to
go see him or Marvin Harrison.
Whoever we get doesn't work out, and whoever is drafted right after us does because that just.
Man, we're gonna go safe and pick offensive.
TSD of being a fan of this team.
Yeah. Yam says we're also talking college, and not just that, but the SEC, where LSU is like a AAA minor league pro team for the most part. Their stadium facilities are better than half the NFL. Yeah,
and it's the SEC was down this year. I really don't feel like their defenses were as good, as dominant as they had been in seasons past.
Yep. Ronnie White says, I hope to build the offensive line around Sam Cosmi. I think that's a given. Sam has been a stout.
Sam is the rock.
Second round pick, Dev. Second round pick.
3 years later.
Second round pick.
3 years later.
I told y'all that guy was good.
Second round pick's supposed to start day 1, man. You're talking about 2 or 3 years later.
He did start day 1.
Yeah. Nah, you gotta be great. You gotta be good day 1, dog.
He was never
good. He was just playing hurt.
Yeah, he had some injury.
He got moved to guard, man.
He was playing with a club on his hand.
You don't pick a guard in the first round, man. Overstepped that guy. Overreach for him. But hey, I'm glad it's working out though.
Dev is going to do whatever he can to die on the second round.
Man, you can't pick guards in the first round. You can't pick tackles in the first round and end up being guards 2 or 3 years later and think, oh, we won that. No, we didn't.
Yam says, I like McCarthy. He's a vanilla quarterback. You know what you're getting with him.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying him particularly. I'm just saying in general. Like there's good quarterbacks that weren't. There's probably as many. Who's in the playoffs right now? You got a playoff list. Who's the quarterbacks that were drafted real high in the draft in the playoffs?
I'll tell you right now. While we're waiting for that, Commander Lauren from YouTube, thank you for tuning in. Says Ben Johnson will draft Drake Goff, and I'm okay with that. Hey, if that works, Drake Goff, I like that.
Talk about somebody revitalized a career because everybody written off Jared Goff.
Sure did.
I did not, by the way. I was on the golf bandwagon. I want everybody to know that.
Honestly, I thought Sean McVay made Jared Goff. But Dev, to answer your question, AFC playoff teams, Ravens, Lamar was a bottom one. Bills, Josh Allen, he was top 10. Or maybe he was like 15. I don't know. Chiefs,
Josh
Mahomes.
Allen?
Yeah.
Like 7.
Chiefs, Mahomes. Texans with CJ Stroud, he was number 2. Browns, Flacco, don't count. Tua with the Dolphins. I think he was what? He was after Chase, so 5 or 6. And Steelers, they shouldn't even be in the playoffs. So they're running with Mason Rudolph because Kenny Pickett is the backup. He was drafted first round in a terrible draft. All right, NFC, Niners with Purdy. We know his deal.
Nope, not one.
Dak was a 3rd rounder.
Right, not one.
Jared Goff was the number 1 overall pick, right? Bucks with Baker, who was also a top number 1 pick. Eagles with Hurts, he was also a 3rd rounder.
Second round pick.
Rams with Stafford, he was a top
number 1 pick over Calvin.
Yeah. And Packers, Jordan Love was a 1st rounder, but I don't remember where they were in the draft.
It's the very bottom. It was very bottom. It was like 20 something.
Yeah,
I'm saying that's what it's like. Only 3 or 4 that were picked in the top 4 or 5. I mean, I'm just saying, man. Like, I get it. You don't want to miss a generational talent, bro. Like, even if it's not the guy you want. At number 2, we don't have a good team, bro. There's no one on this team you're scared of. The best skill player we have is a good player. His name is McLaurin. No one else is even in this stratosphere, really.
That's true.
And I'm on this team, and he's good for about the 4th or 5th best player on a contending team.
Yeah,
like the Dolphins. That's 4 players you rather have on the Dolphins than McLaurin at skill position, dog. That's about 4 or 5 on San Fran. That's about 4 or 5 on the Cowboys, honestly, that you'd rather have over McLaurin. And McLaurin's our best player. Our best player. There's at least 4 or 5 players better than him. Now imagine you going to practice every day, and the best player you practicing again is Terry McLaurin, dog.
Yeah, I'm with you, man.
It doesn't make sense for anybody to say anything like we should pick a quarterback. If the quarterback's not better than the receiver, pick the fucking receiver, bro.
Given the issues with the passing game scheming this season, I have this weird thing where I'm like, how much of that was Terry just
nah, man, I'm
not being Terry, as opposed to Terry being a victim of a scheme that nobody was getting open in.
Man, I'm not giving Terry no excuses, man. He's had like 4 or 5 different times
today that Sam Howell had the least amount of separation when it came to receivers of any quarterback in the league.
There's no way you can convince me that a guy that's throwing 45 times a game can't have still struggling at the end of the year to get 1,000 yards. You got a quarterback throwing 45 times a game, and you're struggling to get 1,000 yards at the end of the year.
Again, it'd be one thing if it was him not getting open, but when nobody's getting open,
it's scheme.
I'm
telling you,
every year it's scheme. Every year it's quarterback or something. Every year it's excuse. Every year it's everybody else's fault except for Terry's, bro. I mean, Terry's a good receiver, but he's just a good receiver, bro.
Yeah,
why can't anybody live with that?
He's yet to have a.
He's not elite, bro. He's not going
to have 120 catches and 1,600 yards and 20 touchdowns. I get that.
That's what an elite quarterback. That's what a $23 million receiver should get, bro.
Yeah, Todd Stadium makes a good point here. Jim Harbaugh needs to come to the Commanders. He knows most of college players that would fit in the system. He would be a good judge of college talent.
I don't think Jim Harbaugh will do that because we're not going to make this a coach-centric situation. Yeah. You see, in college, if you're the head coach, you run shit, right?
You're the head recruiter.
You're the head recruiter. You're the coach and the GM. He wanted that position.
You're the point guard. You're both guards, 2 forwards, and the center, right? Yeah. What's that from?
He did not. He wanted that in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'll be Ben. I think it'll be Ben Johnson. I think it'll be Johnson. It just like Phil saying it kind of just fits the narrative of that. If you go with a hot new young GM/president, whatever, he would want to choose someone who is more subservient to what he wants to have done instead of a guy who's in there and wants to draft
too dominant a personality.
Right. I think that he would want to have a young guy he could kind of help, mold that coach or whatever.
And it goes back to that graphic we keep showing. All the hot young coaches were on this team.
Right. And it makes sense to keep
McDaniel, Kyle Shanahan, LaFleur, and O'Connell.
Right now, I'm leaning. Right now, there's a lot of great candidates out there. I'm leaning Bobby Slowick myself, but that's just me.
Yeah.
If we go defensive coordinator, I'll take Dan Quinn. I'm not joking. If we go defensive coordinator, I want Dan Quinn.
Why would you do a defensive coordinator when you're going to draft a rookie quarterback and then your offensive? If say your rookie quarterback blows up, that offensive coordinator is going to get gone. He's gone. That's the problem with getting a defensive head coach. Your offensive coordinators rotate through once your offense is good 1 year. You get an offensive coach.
I don't know. We had an offensive coordinator named Sean McVay who propped up an offensive head coach named Jay Gruden.
Yeah.
Jay Gruden was an all right offensive coach at Cincinnati and in other places too.
He was all right in Cincinnati.
I don't want to give the guy no respect, man. Jay was a pretty good offensive coach, man.
Carson Palmer and company, man.
It's like North Turner.
I mean, Tio says, what do you want to see at a quarterback at number 2? I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. You want to see someone who can jump in right away, who's able to make the throws.
CJ Stroud.
Yeah, CJ Stroud. Yeah, talk about being a bust. Bryce Young is a bust, dude.
I would have taken Bryce Young.
Bryce Young, I will say this. I can't blame Bryce Young. He went to an absolute shit show.
Dude, Sam Howell is playing better than Bryce Young. So don't give me he did not. He was way overdrafted. That dude should have been like a 2nd or 3rd round pick.
I don't know, man. Like I hate to say this again, man. You can't judge quarterbacks by their first 1 year, bro.
What's that? Say that again, Dev.
You can't judge quarterbacks by their first year, man. Shit goes crazy. That's why I told you guys that I could be talked into Sam. It's got to be the craziest best circumstance possible, but I could be talked into it. Like if you told me some quarterback, like if Johnson comes in is like I want to draft Harrison with this pick or an offensive tackle or Bowers or somebody with this pick, and I want to put offensive linemen around and see what Howell can do, and maybe pick up Russ for a year or two and let him sit behind him. I could be sold on that. I would not like it. It's not my first option. But I can understand why you want to do that.
Yeah.
And I think he's got tools, man. I think Sam's got tools, man. I would trade him, though.
Last 4 comments, then we're going to get into the GM discussion here real quick. Marcus says, if you look at the Cowboys, they got 3 top O linemen, Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, Tyler Smith. Tyron Smith's a free agent, I think. That's how Dak Prescott is successful like Brock Purdy. Yep.
Man, you better chase his ass in free agency if he makes it out there.
No, Tyron Smith, he's 32, 33. He had some injuries. I don't know.
Give him a 3-year deal and just be done with it. You need a left tackle. I am not putting a rookie quarterback behind the line we had.
Yeah, we gotta get Leno to right.
So Marcus says if it's Peters, it will be Bobby Slowick because he worked with him in San Francisco. All right, Phil's gonna get to that in just a second.
That's what I was trying to ask you earlier. Who's the offensive coordinator at San Fran that everybody's talking about? That's who I was thinking of, Bobby Slowick. Yeah, that's Phil's guy there. Phil's been talking about Bobby Slowick for a while.
Yeah, but Slowick is also in Houston right now.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. But Phil's been talking about Bobby Slowick for a while, man.
Yeah. What's up, Nat Rivers? Nat Rivers, go to the top of this post on Facebook and click the StreamYard link to give them permission to view your profile so we can give you credit and see your name on the screen. Nat Rivers, thank you for tuning in. Says, what about Mike Evans? No. Is he available in the free agency market? No. He needs a big body wide receiver. He is available. But I'm
not spending $20 million on Mike Evans, dog.
He's also 32.
Yeah, pick Marvin Harrison before you do that, dog. We don't really need a receiver, but I'm just saying if it's somebody of that caliber, there, you got to take him. I'm not saying take Harrison because we need a receiver. I'm saying take Harrison because he's the best player in the draft. Like I feel that way about a lot of players. Though. I could be talking to about 5 of them, man. May's not one of them to me. I feel like May is going to be good. I just feel like that all the other players. There's about 4 other players I think will be elite in the league at their position. Like they will be an elite player projected. Now, obviously some of them going to be wrong.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to find an elite player in round 4.
When he's not talking about Jaden Daniels, he could be a rational person with this comment.
He said
Bobby Slowick could be the better option because he has been part of the development of CJ Stroud.
Bobby Slowick was also on the Redskins staff, that same Shanahan staff, but he was a defensive guy to start. And then he went to the Niners, became defensive quality control coach. And then in 2019, offensive assistant, 2021, offensive pass game specialist, 22, offensive pass game coordinator.
I like him already.
But he has less experience than Ben Johnson.
He got less experience than
but he has experience on both sides of the ball, and I kind of like that in a head coach, right?
Yeah.
Because if nothing else, he's going to get coordinators he's going to have a philosophy, and he's going to get coordinators under him that match that philosophy, right? And I think that you kind of get a unified front, right? Scott Turner wanted to throw the ball all over the place, and Ron had to be telling him, no, we can't throw the ball all over the place. Taylor Heineke doesn't do that. Run the damn ball, right?
Yeah.
Now, he didn't do that with EB, and look what happened. So kind of just it is what it is. I like the idea of top-down philosophy. You have a GM with a coach, and they have a certain philosophy, and that trickles down to the coordinators. And they run with that philosophy, and the assistant coaches, position coaches, all play into whatever that philosophy is going to be, right?
So I don't want to see this. Oh, we should keep EB. No, unless the new coach or the new GM selects EB as the head coach, and the head coach, or if it's not him, if the head coach selects him as a coordinator. Other than that, don't stick EB with the new team. You're going to set everyone up for failure. No, absolutely not. Deluxe says Slowick also worked for PFF, and that's kind of tickling my heartstrings because I'm a big analytics guy. But let's get to these new GMs. Phil, let's give us a little rundown about the field getting narrowed down from 5 GMs to 2, and who are we looking at now, and what are they all about?
Certainly. Now, I'm going to give all credit to Hogs Haven. They did a nice little write-up, so I'm going to go through the NFL experience of both. Ian Cunningham. We'll start with him. He's been the Bears' assistant general manager for the past 2 years. From 2017 to 2021, he was with the Eagles. He started as director of college scouting, and he was eventually promoted to director of player personnel. Before he was in Philly, he was an assistant and then a scout with the Ravens from 2008 to 2016. So he has 16 years of NFL front office experience, right? He came up, and there's even a quote here for Cunningham that says he'd go into Ozzie Newsome's office every single night and pick his brain, right? Yeah. He learned how to evaluate talent from Ozzie Newsome, who is seen as a great talent evaluator. Cunningham was part of Super Bowl winning teams in Baltimore and in Philly, 2013, 2018. He did turn down the GM job in Arizona last year, and he lost out. He went for the Titans job. He lost out to Ran Carthon. Adam Peters entered the NFL as a scout, began his career as a scout with the Patriots from 2003 to 2008. He went with Josh McDaniels to the Broncos 2009, where he was a scout, and he was promoted to director of college scouting in 2016. In 2017, he was John Lynch's first hire in San Francisco when John Lynch became GM. As vice president of player personnel, in 2021, he was promoted to assistant general manager. He has 21 years of NFL front office experience. He was part of Super Bowl winning teams in New England in 2004 and 2005 and in Denver in 2016. He was also part of Super Bowl losing teams in New England in 2008, Denver in 2014, and San Francisco in 2020. And last season, Peters turned down interviews for the Cardinals and Titans positions. So that kind of gives you an idea of their experience. And there's also a bit of information as far as different draft things and all that. But here's some key moves. All right, this kind of gives you an idea of what kind of acquisitions that these guys have made, or that they were part of the transaction. Ian Cunningham in 2021 with the Eagles, when Philly traded back from 6 to 12 with the Dolphins, and then traded back up to 10 with the Cowboys. He was part of that deal. Last year, 2022 with the Bears, they traded away Roquan Smith for AJ Klein, and they later waived that and then draft capital. And they also, Chicago traded for Chase Claypool for a second-round pick. And then last year, they traded back from 9 to 10 with the Eagles, traded up in the second round with the Jaguars. Chase Claypool was traded to Miami for 2 future late-round picks, and second-round pick was traded to Washington for Montez Sweat. That was Ian Cunningham has handed some of those moves. Right. 49ers, San Francisco traded up with Miami to select Trey Lance. This is Adam Peters did this. In 2021, swapped first round swap. They also traded away their second and then 2 more firsts.
Yeah.
2022 signed Charvarius Ward signed George Odom, signed Ray McLeod, traded for Christian McCaffrey from the Panthers, and they traded Jeff Wilson, running back, to Miami. In 2023, 49ers traded up from pick 102 to 87 with the Vikings. They traded Randy Gregory to Denver for late-round picks, and they traded a third-round pick to Washington for Chase Young. So both of these guys were involved with the two big trades we made before the deadline this year. So it's not like they're not used to dealing with our organization in some way, shape, or form. Both have tremendous amount of experience. Neither one has been a GM in title in their careers. But if you want fresh blood, fresh ideas, and all that, hey, both of these guys have gone down to Miami and visited with Josh Harris. These are going to be your two you pick from. Take your pick. I think both have a lot of potential to be great.
Yeah. Nat Rivers, you got it. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. Todd says we should trade EB to the Chiefs for a draft pick. Now, I saw an article, and I don't even know if it's true, that the Chiefs were trying to hire EB back for their postseason run, and the Commanders are refusing to release any coaches until they find their, new GM and new head coach. So they haven't released anyone but Ron Rivera. Everyone else is still on the payroll. I don't know if that's true or not. If it is, that's that's crazy. Yeah.
Well, it also means that we don't have a defensive coordinator. So.
Yeah. Yam says I can't trust PFF when they keep rating Wiley as high as they do. Old Andrew Wiley there.
Recipient.
He is the
He gets a Glock Dookie this week too, by the way. I don't know why, but
he's a Glock fire.
He gets it all.
I think it's smart to keep EB on the roster until you hire somebody, because you get first dibs at asking if he needs to. If that's maybe that's who you want for your offensive coordinator, you get first dibs.
Exactly. You're spot on.
You can fire him.
No,
after
he should be considered in the interview for the head coach for, you know what I mean? And then if he's not, then let whoever the coach wants to hire, maybe consider him. Who knows?
Who would be your favorite pick to be coach? Head coach.
Oh man,
I agree with the popular. Tion said if Tom Peters is a guy, it's probably going to be or Adam Peters is probably going to be.
You talking about for GM?
Yeah, well, I think Adam Peters. If he accepts the job, I think that's who's going to get it. I think, personally, but I think if he gets a job, it's probably Bobby Slowick.
It could, but see, if it's Peters, it could be Slowick too.
Yeah. If it's, you think so? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If it's Peters, it's
Slowick worked. Slowick was with the Niners.
That's what I'm saying. If it's Peters, I think it's Slowick.
Yeah.
That's just my. That's what I.
And Cunningham must be living a lot off of his, because you don't really give him credit for GM last year. Yeah, they got Montez Sweat, whatever, but I think he's really getting his money worth from his Philadelphia, because Philly drafted really well for the last 5 years, right? And he also has Ravens ties, and you know how much they want to be affiliated like the Ravens. So, but I just feel like Peters has the better resume, but he also fell into a better situation with Tom Brady and the Patriots winning a Super Bowl. Peyton Manning on the Broncos winning a Super Bowl. I'm sorry, he had two Super Bowls with the Patriots and one with the Broncos. So
I think he was with the Ravens when they were building a team. You can't front on the fact that Ozzie Newsome for a long time was a top 3, top 5 GM in this league, right?
Yeah.
That's a guy that if you're going to pick someone's brain on how to be a general manager in this league, how to look at talent, how to evaluate talent, that's a guy you want to get that from. I can take either one. Peters has more recent success, so you would think that would tip it to him, but it's hard to say because Peters was scouting for the for the Patriots during a time in which the Patriots, all they did was find talent in places you're like, who is this guy? Like they got that guy, what was it, Hogan? The guy who was a rugby player. And then he became a wide receiver for them, and they won a Super Bowl with him as their number 2 wide receiver. So finding guys like that is kind of where GMs really kind of make their mark outside of the obvious talent picks. It's the stuff. Finding the diamonds in the rough is a key part of being a great GM. Bobby Bethard was the master of the late round draft pick, right?
Yeah.
No one did better than him. Another guy who's really good at that, Charlie Casserly. We have a history of GMs who made their mark not in making the obvious pick, but in making the other picks that round out a good team. So
yeah. Ryan said we should have traded. He always said we should have traded Chase and Fuller and kept Sweat. Todd says bring back Chase in free agency. Now, earlier in the year, Chase's Young's market value was like right there with Montez, like 24-25. Look what it is now. 2 years, 13.6 milli per year.
Going to San Francisco killed his value because he became a rotational piece.
He did, and he didn't have to be the guy.
The problem is that he didn't play like the guy either.
Yeah, he didn't do anything after he left. He did a very, very, very little after he left.
Actually, this is one time where he probably thought, I'll go to San Francisco. I'll up my value because I'm on this great defense. I want to do great things, right?
Yeah.
And it just hasn't translated. Now, Sweat has. Sweat got, and you know what? Chicago already gave him the bag, but he was going to get it because Sweat came in and there was no drop off in production. Was he the first guy who's ever led 2 teams in the same season in sacks?
Yeah, Montez. T said he wants Adam Peters and Ben Johnson. Great pairing. If you hire both guys, we're going to put the league on notice. Marcus said both Cunningham and Peters are willing to move up and down the draft. Yeah. Yam says Vegas dropped the odds of 2-1 for Ben Johnson coming to Washington today. Ooh. T Hill also says Bobby Slowick isn't taking any head coaching jobs and focusing on the playoffs. Yeah, it's a little bit early, but
we're not even going to interview head coaches until we get a GM.
Yeah.
So that's going to be until after the Super Bowl anyway.
Yeah. Todd says Anthony Weaver's interviewing defensive line coach and assistant coach of the Ravens, and Mike McDonald says they are on a bye week.
I'm going to get into that because I have a list of all the coaches on the short list right in front of me too.
Yeah. I have some insider information about Anthony Weaver. I don't want to say it here but I'll tell it to people that I know, and I know someone who knows him personally, and let's leave it at that. He's very content in Baltimore. Unless it's something he cannot refuse, he's not leaving.
Well, let's talk about the short list for coaches real quick. These are guys who we've all have made requests for interviews for, right? Ben Johnson from the Lions, offensive coordinator. Lions defensive coordinator, Aaron Glenn. We all remember Aaron Glenn from his playing days. Rams defensive coordinator, Raheem Morris. That's bringing somebody back. Ravens associate head coach / defensive line coach, Anthony Weaver. Ravens defensive coordinator, Mike McDonald. Texans offensive coordinator, Bobby Slowick. And Cowboys defensive coordinator, Dan Quinn. So those are the names on the short list.
Yeah.
No EB in there whatsoever at this time. But this is, again, one of those things where we have to look at what does this new GM want to do? By the way, Ryan Elias, happy Thursday to you too.
Yeah.
For those who are listening on the audio crowd, Ryan Elias has indicated that he is currently hammered.
Hammer proper. Hey, Ryan, drinking some Elijah Craig, buddy. Cheers to you on a little thirsty Thursday. Very quickly, to go along with what Phil just said, when Ben Johnson was asked about what it means to have 5 head coach interviews and be acknowledged, he said, it's awesome, quite an honor, but honestly, I haven't thought about it beyond what's going on this week. Leave it at that for now. And he asked, are you going to take all 5 interview requests? He goes, I don't know. Yeah. Aaron Glenn, because they're on the same staff, asked the same questions. He says, man, I'm really flattered. I do not want to sound like coach speak, but I try to focus on the main thing for this team, this organization. The very political answer. I'm focused
not
on
only that,
but
the comment that Slowick's not going to take an interview because he's focusing on the playoffs.
None of them are.
Ben Johnson and Ben Johnson and Dan Quinn and Aaron Glenn and Raheem Morris and Mike McDonald, they're all in the playoffs too. All these guys listed are on playoff teams right now.
That's what happens. You get plucked away. Aaron Glenn asked if he'll take all 4 interviews if he was requested for it. He goes, yeah, he's going to take all 4. So, yes. And like I put it in the Facebook chat and then the thread. If you're watching this, please roll over to YouTube and hit that like button and turn on notifications, man, so you can get these videos when we drop them or when we go live. And on top of what Phil just said we talked about the GM vacancies, GM front runners went from 5 to 2, and the head coaches are on a short list. But we had some pretty big names in just football in general. So Saban retired, Bill Belichick was fired, and Pete Carroll, kind of a weird situation. It's kind of maybe like
Pete was fired. Bill wasn't really fired though.
Pete is still with the team in an advisory role. So I don't know if he was really fired.
Remember when everyone thought that Ron Rivera was going to get bumped up to the front office?
Yeah, I think Ron needs a vacation. He's like,
Ron's not doing that. But I think Pete Carroll got the what we thought was going to happen to Ron Rivera treatment.
He's an advisor. Correct. So lots of big names that are now vacant. That we didn't. You kind of thought Bill Belichick might get it, but 24 seasons, 6 Super Bowls, man had a great career. And I don't know, I don't want him here, but congrats to him. But Jim Harbaugh, Dan Quinn, and Mike Vrabel are like the hottest names right now for head coaching vacancies.
I mean, Mike Vrabel's probably going back to New England. I like Mike Vrabel.
Without Bill, he was a Bill guy. He might not be able to make his way back without Bill Belichick, but I'm with you.
Belichick, you can no longer be the coach, but you can still have influence. Look how much influence Joe Gibbs has on this team. He's not drawing a dime from this from ownership. He's not on the payroll.
Yeah,
but Joe Gibbs is the guy who got Ron Rivera here, right?
Yam said, "I had my first beer in almost 2 years this past Monday. Boy, that hit different, man. I know you were sober for 2 years, so congratulations. Hopefully, this was a choice you made and you enjoyed it." Todd said, I would give Nick Saban a call to see if he might be interested. I'm good on Nick Saban.
He's 75, man.
No, he's 51. Nick Saban's 51.
No, he's not.
I'm sorry, 72, born in 51.
Like
I was going to tell you, Phil, he was born in Fairmont, Virginia, West Virginia. I don't know how close that is to the Virginia border, but he utterly failed when he came to the NFL. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember. He was
here for one year.
Pick up Drew Brees and ate his ass up.
So he went right back down to college. At least with Jim Harbaugh, he had some significant success in the NFL. I don't know. I mean, Saban, I'm sure he's a great coach, but he probably was like, hey, man, I can't deal with all this NIL bullshit. I can't control it. When you're a college coach, like Phil said, you're everything.
By the way, Fairmont's 4 hours from me.
With all this NFL stuff, these coaches don't have as much power. You're like, you know what, coach? All right, fuck you, I'm out. I'm going to transfer portal. Yeah. And Shadur Sanders, did you see what he wrote? He goes, attention, calling all Bama players. Yeah. I was like, good for you, man. All y'all Bama guys leave. I don't know who the next head coach of Alabama is going to be, but
look, it's going to be Sarkisian, whatever it is.
Yeah. Commander Lawrence says, boomer coaching graveyard. That's right. I don't want any of those dinosaurs either. I want to go with a young guy. I'm ready to try the young thing. We failed. We keep failing with
there are dinosaur coaches. There are dinosaur coaches that I would consider. None of those. Just none of those.
I would have to verbally hear either if they pick Belichick or Saban, I'd have to verbally hear each one of those say we're not in charge of player personnel, we're just coaches. Like I'd have to I have to hear that. I don't want to see it on paper. I want to hear that come out of their mouth. Like I gotta hear it. Like there's no way. And they're not gonna do that, by the way. I don't even think Harbaugh would do that. So I know these motherfuckers ain't gonna do it.
Yam said Rivera might go to ATL. Marcus said they do Zoom chats with them, but not real interview. Bill Belichick might try to get to the Chargers. Or if Mike McCarthy don't get to the Super Bowl, Uncle Jerry might try to hire him.
That does feel like a Jerry Jones hire.
Isn't Belichick from Annapolis? Isn't he from this area, if I'm not mistaken? I thought he was, but I could be wrong. Nat Rivers said,
Alberts come here to end their careers, man.
Thank you for jumping over from Facebook to YouTube, Nat. Big props to you, man. We greatly appreciate that. Said Saban, Bill, and Pete equals grumpy old man.
How many of those old guys finished
All
their
right,
lives
so
here?
Bill
Schottenheimer.
Belichick, just answer that. He's 71, by the way.
Yeah, dude. Give me somebody 40.
He's from Nashville, Tennessee, but he went to high school in Annapolis High School.
Yeah. All I'm saying is, man, it doesn't make any sense.
Yam said 4 people decommitted to Bama.
Everybody that wants to come, they should just have like. You just want to get a young guy. In other words, you just want to get.
Yep. Jimmy Lee, what's up, Jimmy? Said Black Monday, Red Wedding, all the same.
It's Tuesday.
Right. Good reference. Drop a little Game of Thrones reference. Black Monday, Red Wedding.
Really wanted Red Wedding. And for us, we only fired our head coach.
It wasn't a massacre. Let's see what they do in the offseason. Maybe they cut everybody. Well, I guess it kind of started in the middle of the season with Chase and Montez, and let's see once the season ends.
That's a slow bleed.
Let's see what happens when the season. If they like jump ship on cut all these dudes, it could be a red wedding. But who knows? Yam says Steve wants some of that PYT. I'm guessing pretty young thing. PYT. Pretty young thing. Marcus says Louisville and Colorado leading college football and transfer portal recruiting.
We got transfer guy there, the coach.
Yeah, these coaches don't have power anymore, man. That's probably like Saban not doing it. But I don't know. Because in Alabama they have shit but Alabama football. They have nothing. They have nothing else but Alabama football.
Which so he could be a great.
He could be a governor. He could go be a politician.
Before you had the money, it was a great recruiting tool because you walk on the campus and you're a god.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Which kind of sucks for football towns, right? It's going to suck for a lot of places that are currently football towns, because your Tuscaloosa's, your Athens, Georgia, your Gainesville, Florida, SEC schools. They're known for being football towns. Knoxville, Tennessee. Knoxville's more than a football town, but let's face it, UT runs that city. You had growing, State College, Pennsylvania. Hell, you had a growing one just down the road from me in Harrisonburg, Virginia, in which Pat McAfee came out there and said, "This is a football town," right? Now, what's your football town? Boulder, Colorado? Fuck Boulder. Boulder sucks. Unless you like hippies.
These kids are going to go where the money is. That's
exactly.
That's what it comes down to.
I don't want to give a bunch of rich hippies any more reason to be happy.
You figured they would have all the money in
bunch of just people who are really well off and like to ski.
Yeah.
And really hippie-ish.
Sounds like my type of people.
Yeah.
I hate rich people. Has nothing to do with the weed.
Todd
you're talking about people. You're talking about women who don't shave their pits, kind of hippie.
Yeah, that's New Mexico.
Yeah, there's grass on the infield.
Come on, there's more than grass. I mean, that field's braided.
Todd says Kirby Smart to DC. Yeah, and Commander Lawrence right. That dude ain't ever leaving. He just finished 13-1 in Georgia. I don't think he's leaving. I mean,
he's young. He's 48. He's not that old.
He's probably from that area or something. Unless I don't know if you're saying there's a tie. I don't know. I don't know enough about Kirby Smart.
Kirby Smart is from Montgomery, Alabama.
Did he play ball or did he do anything in Alabama besides being born there?
He played ball at Georgia, and then he played a year with the Colts. He was defensive back.
Todd, do you have any rumors on that? Why has his name been mentioned? Anything with the Commanders at all?
I can see Kirby Smart. I can see Kirby Smart going to Alabama.
Yeah, is he a offensive or a defensive guy? Is he a? I don't know anything about him besides him being the coach. And I think I heard somewhere that he had ties to Alabama when I was watching a Georgia game. He was from there on the introduction. Yam said, y'all ever see the documentary about the Bama Auburn rivalry and the guy poisoning the trees at Auburn? Yeah,
Come on, when Pete on the trees.
Okay, I used to listen to Paul Feinbaum before he got on ESPN.
Yeah,
just nuts. But before he was just a radio guy, he was actually really entertaining. He's one of the few guys back 20 years ago that you could listen to his radio show on the internet, right? He had the best smack talk tournament in.
Oh, he has the best call-ins too, by the way.
Oh yeah,
sure.
Phyllis from Mulga, Shane from Bessemer, all those guys, right? I remember them all because it was some of the best smack talk ever. I remember when that guy called in because I would listen on the internet, and I remember being like, this guy's insane. Just the way he said it, it was so sociopathic. Yeah, I poisoned the trees at Grover's Corner. Roll damn tide. Like, it was just so like flat. I was just like, damn, that's nuts. That's insane. But
Marcus,
the SEC's crazy.
Marcus said Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Warren Sapp, Mike Zimmer on the Colorado coaching staff. I know Warren Sapp is on the coaching staff. I didn't know about Ed Reed or Ray Lewis or Mike Zimmer. But I knew Warren Sapp is now. I know Warren Sapp is an official coach in Colorado. I haven't heard about the rest of those guys being coaches yet. Pretty cool if they are assembling a pretty good staff there. If that's the case, but I haven't seen any. It's not on their website either yet.
No, he is being rumored as a potential defensive coordinator.
Ray Lewis.
Oh
my goodness. That can be pretty cool if it is.
We don't know anything about that. Ed Reed is another one we see here. Is Ed Reed.
Todd said Kirby Smart be rumored to Atlanta. Now that makes sense. You're right there. You already recruit. I mean, you know the area.
Ed Reed is also a rumored defensive coordinator option, but they say it's an unlikely one here for what I'm seeing.
Thanks, Todd. He's a defensive guy. I didn't know that.
He was defensive back in the NFL for a year.
Yeah. Commander Lawrence says, I live in Georgia. Never going to happen. UGA is the top team in the state. They're bigger than the Braves and Falcons combined. Kirby is king here, never leaving UGA. Yeah. I mean, if you look in Alabama, look what that asset Tuberville and then Bear Bryant. Those coaches are gods.
Yeah, but Tuberville was in Auburn, right?
Auburn. Okay.
All I was going to take is one controversy to make you feel like fuck college and like Harbaugh did. All it takes is one. All it takes is somebody to suspend you, and
he served
like turned it one over you.
Didn't he serve his 3 games in the beginning of the year, his 3 games at the end of the year, and they still won the chip?
Yeah,
he has no reason.
And then left. So who cares what you think of what I did? Now I'm gone.
Yeah, true story, man. Yeah. True story. There's so much going on in football. It's going to be fun. Let's just look at real quick the games that are coming up this weekend, since we're not doing any pre-games anymore. But it's going to be a great. I'm excited. It wild card weekend. So starting Saturday, January 13th at 4:30 p.m. East Coast, it's the 11-6 Browns versus the 10-7 Texans. Who you guys got for that one?
Oh, let's see here.
The Browns are going to be without
I got the Browns winning too. I think the Browns will win that game.
Texans going to be that.
I'm going to go Texans. I'm going to say Texans in an upset.
2 starting receivers going to be out for Texas, man.
Who is?
Both starting receivers.
Tank Dell and is Nico out too?
No, not Nico. I'm sorry, Woods. The 2 or 3 receivers. Yeah.
Robert Woods.
Yeah.
Right now,
I'm going to take Texans in an upset just to be contrarian.
It's the Browns -2 in Houston. Okay.
Because if we all say Browns, then Texans win anyway.
At 8:10 p.m. on Saturday, we got the 11-6 Dolphins at the 11-6 Kansas City Chiefs, and it's the Chiefs with 4.5 points. I got the Chiefs winning this one.
Chiefs.
What about you, Dev?
Who are playing?
The Dolphins.
In Kansas City.
Dolphins.
Okay.
They scored too much, man. I don't trust that Kansas City's receivers. They let you down in the biggest games this year. I'm going by just this game, man. I can't go by life every time.
Yam says the Browns got it easily. Defense is good too, and he's picking the Chiefs as well. The next set of games comes on Sunday at 1:00 on Paramount Plus. This is an odd place to have a game, but you have the 10-7 Steelers at the 11-6 Buffalo Bills. I'm pretty sure that's a no-brainer. You guys got the Bills. 10-point favorite, the Bills.
I got the Bills.
That's insanity. Sunday, 4:30 p.m. the 9-8 Packers at the 12-5 Cowboys. The spread for that game is
Cowboys be cowboying.
they do.
What's the spread?
Spread for that one is -7. So the Cowboys have a 7-point spread.
I'm going to say Dallas. If it was a greater spread, I'd say take the Packers.
Who you got? I'm going Packers.
I'm going to say the Cowboys.
We're not talking spreads. You're saying the Packers will win straight up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking spreads, but just if the Cowboys were a greater favorite, that kind of juju I think works against Dallas.
I don't know.
7 points. That's not tremendous considering the fact that one's a 12-5 team, the other one was 9-8. So I'm going to say, as much as it pains me to say, it's Dallas.
Yeah. Todd, we're going to come back to your comment here in a second. Commander Lawrence says CJ Stroud going to murk this playoffs. He's dangerous as fuck. I hope he does. I love CJ Stroud.
I've seen CJ Stroud throw 4 interceptions.
He's the first Ohio State quarterback to actually make it with no questions. There's everyone else. I can't think of an Ohio State quarterback.
The Ohio State quarterback curse ended.
He broke it. He broke it himself.
But now does it go to LSU?
Hey, Joe Burrow was the last good one to come out. Before that, I can't think of the last good quarterback from LSU.
It's only been like 4 years ago.
Jamarcus Russell.
Jamarcus Russell. Yams says Bills no contest. Marcus got the Steelers in an upset win. Oh wow. Browns win, Chiefs will win, Green Bay will win, and Eagles will lose.
I don't know. Watt ain't playing, I don't think, man. I'm not gonna go.
Yeah. Well, finishing it up, we got the Rams, the 10-7 Rams at the 12-5 Lions.
Rams win,
is 3. I got the Lions, man.
I got the Lions.
The Lions are just on something special this year. I think
the last couple games.
I think the Lions, it's going to be Lions and Cowboys in the NFC playoffs, man. And I would love to see a Baltimore Lions Super Bowl.
What? You don't think San Fran's going to beat them, dude?
Baltimore. You want to see
San Fran's going to beat those guys?
Do you want to know who I think is going to go to the Super Bowl?
Who? It's going to be Ravens and San Fran.
I think it's going to be Dallas.
Lamar Jackson's going to get MVP, dog, and I'm going to clown.
No. I think it's Baltimore, Dallas, and Baltimore wins. That's my pick.
Lamar's going to get MVP, and I'm going to clown. What's MVP coming out in a week or so?
I don't know.
It comes out after the championship game, I believe.
Nah, they do that before the championship game, don't they? Because it's not.
I'm sorry, you're right. Before the championship game.
Yeah, it's not.
Cowboys always joke. Well, it's whack that we have to pay to watch on Peacock. Yeah, if you have cable, like my dumbass,
I got a jailbroken Fire Stick. I'm watching it for free.
Yeah. Marcus said Lions will win. Jimmy says you suck, Phil. I don't know what he's referencing to.
Because I picked the Cowboys to beat the Packers.
Okay.
I think they'll win. I beat the Packers.
Eagles are exposed. The Monday night game, I didn't realize we had Monday Night Football. So that's the 11-6 Eagles, 9-8 Bucks. 8:15 Monday. The spread right now for that one is Eagles -3.
I'm taking Tampa Bay.
I am too.
I'm not.
That's why they're upset. Tampa Bay.
The Eagles they are struggling. Man.
Eagles are in a free fall, and there's something about Baker Mayfield.
They lost 4.
Sam Howell reminds me of.
That's all the more reason I don't want him to come back. Shit.
No. I think Baker Mayfield is an example of somebody who didn't warrant a number 1 draft pick, but with some development became pretty good. And he's kind of had a rebirth in Tampa Bay too. So, Tampa Bay was expected to be tank division, right?
Is it because they're both short and white, and brown hair and beards? Is that what it is, Phil?
I think
no.
I'm just joking.
Sam Howell's Asian.
I'm just joking. Yes.
Sam Howell's Asian. # Stop Asian Hate.
That's right. That's why. That's why I want Sam Howell to make it, man. That's why I want Sam Howell to make it. As someone else who was half. Sam's a quarter. He's quarter Korean. I'm half Chinese, so I got him.
Hey man, one drop rule. If you black, you black. One part black, you black.
That's all it takes.
Hey man, a Chinese couple had a black baby. What they name it? Something Wong.
Something Wong.
There we go.
Yeah. Like The Lux says root for all the teams with coaches with interviews to lose. Almost all the guys were asking for interviews are in the playoffs anyway. So
yeah, I mean, let's be real. We gotta get a GM first. GM's gotta get all their people in place.
I told you guys this earlier. One of my son's classmates at school, his mom, who we've been over to the house many times because they always invite everyone over for parties. She's the team psychologist for the Detroit Lions, but she lives here in Silver Spring, Maryland.
They do everything probably by.
Well, she travels out there 2 or 3 times a month, but she is. It's on the website. She is the team psychologist for the Detroit Lions. I was like, that is so cool. I should probably see if I can get her on here for an interview sometime. Marcus says Lamar Jackson will get MVP and Super Bowl MVP. I do not doubt he will get. He is the top dog for MVP.
Yo.
Who else? There's no one else. Baker lost his running when he flopped against the Ravens. Christian McCaffrey can't get it because how can you have 2 people on the same team for MVP? It's the most valuable player. Who's the most valuable player for your team? It can't be Purdy and McCaffrey. So that's a fatal flaw in itself. It should have never been Purdy. It should have always been McCaffrey.
Right. Well, and he beat him head to head.
He beat
him all head to head, bro.
Your contact here.
He whooped them all head to head. Outplayed them and whooped them all head to head.
Michelle Garvin.
I'm looking at her.
Yeah. Good people. She's super awesome. They have a lovely, lovely family. Super nice. Nat River says the Eagles are very suspect. They are hitting on all cylinders. They're not. They're losing on all cylinders. They've
I
lost.
think it means they aren't hitting.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, they've now mid-season Eagles, they were a top 3 team. Remember that we almost beat twice, that Sam Howell had 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception against. Remember that? 31 for 45, 397 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception.
He threw for over 700 yards on those guys.
Yeah, but then he has a dud against the Giants, and it's just frustrating. Yam says, pay for Peacock, try living overseas and funding alternate ways regardless. Can you use a VPN over there, Yam, and kick yourself out in the States and get some better streaming services?
I can tell you where to go to find the game if you want it, Yam.
Yeah.
A bar. Anyway.
Todd said Sam Howell reminds me of a less talented Baker Mayfield. Oh, there it is.
Sam Howell reminds you of me, Todd. I mean, that's basically what you're saying.
Commander Lawrence says Blackanese. You go. There you go. Yam says we exposed the Eagles. Notice since our game, they've been pure struggle mode. They have been. Remember last year when we exposed the Eagles? I'm sorry. Was it 2 years ago? 2 years ago?
No, it was last year.
Last year when Taylor turned around and handed the ball off like 80 times.
Yeah. When we ran the ball.
Yeah. Todd says if we hire Jim Harbaugh, we need to bring in Michigan sports psychologists. I wouldn't be against that.
For Michigan, for Harbaugh.
For Harbaugh, yeah.
For Harbaugh.
Yeah. Matt Rivers says McCaffrey, aka Derry Sanders. Yeah, Derry Sanders. That's right. Good pull there.
Hey man, circumcision is popular in China. You know why, man?
Oh God.
Chinese women don't touch anything unless it's 15% off.
Oh, damn. Dev, what's the difference between ooh and ah?
What?
3 inches. Yeah.
Why can't 2 Asians have a white baby?
Because yellow and yellow don't make white. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Two Wongs don't make a white. All right. I don't know why I have this surplus of Asian jokes, man.
Yeah. Why is air a lot like sex?
Wow.
Because it's no big deal unless you're not getting any. There you go. Yeah.
Hey, all right. A black guy and a white guy a black guy and an Asian guy open a restaurant. What's it called?
Hold on. Say it one more. Say it again. You said it too quick.
A black guy and an Asian guy open a restaurant. What's it called?
What?
Not your mama's. I don't know why that's funny.
Wouldn't that be a black guy and a Mexican?
That is a black guy and a Mexican.
I was like, hold up. I've heard this before, but I've heard that punchline. But
Have you ever had sex while camping?
No.
It's fucking intense.
Ew. That's pretty good. That's really good.
Get it?
What do you call a black abortion clinic?
Oh, Jesus.
What do you call a black abortion clinic?
Watch our viewers all of a sudden just, I don't know what.
We're peaking at the right time.
Crime Stoppers.
At the right time.
Oh,
That's fucked up. Phil laughed a little too hard at that one, man. Hold on.
because I didn't expect it.
Yam says, what do you call a German virgin?
What's that?
What? As I put the music on. Finish it. Finish him.
Maybe that punchline. Guten Tag.
Guten Tag. Guten Tag.
Nothing.
That's pretty good. Yeah, we got a lot of good football this weekend. Like I said, don't get all bent out of shape. I know we have our guys. Let's see. Josh Harris said they're going to make a run on the GM quickly. So we're probably going to be at the behest of the playoff schedules for our coach, because that's just how it works. So, man, just stick with it. It's going to be a wild ride this offseason for us. I know last season we thought we had a lot of excitement, but new owners are in place. We're about to get a new GM, a new head coach, and all coordinators. So if there's ever been time to be excited, it's really now. So I am looking forward to all of this stuff, even though we're not in the playoffs. But next time we have a show, make sure y'all bring the jokes to open up. Hit that notification button on YouTube so you get an alert. And I want to hear jokes from all y'all in the crowd. Bring your A game, okay? You got to make Dev laugh. That's the secret.
Make me laugh?
Make Dev laugh and make Phil laugh.
Yeah.
All right.
Phil's the prowler. You gotta make Phil laugh.
What do women and noodles have in common?
What's that?
Both of them wiggle when you eat them.
That's pretty good.
What do black people and snow tires have in common?
I don't know.
No idea.
Snow tires don't sing. Oh, no, hold on. Let me start over. I forgot the sugar. All right. How are snow tires and black people different?
What?
Snow tires don't sing when you put a chain on them.
Oh,
I got kind
dude.
When is it okay to beat up a dwarf?
Never.
When he's standing next to your girlfriend saying that her hair smells nice.
Yam says he prefers dumb dad jokes. Those are his favorite. I think they have a place. I like dumb dad jokes too. Marcus says Stephen A on Cat Williams on Jason Whitlock. Bro, y'all seeing that drama going on right now?
Oh yeah, man. I watched that too.
Stephen A. Smith called Whitlock a fat ass bastard.
Yeah, but Stephen Smith does not dispute anything Whitlock says. He just called him a fat bastard.
You know what? No, he disputed the fuck out of it. He watched the whole 60 minutes. He had receipts. But here's the thing, though, man. I understand, like, Stephen A. Smith and what everybody says that know him say that, he generally cusses, he in his conversations, he always talks like that. He's not the same guy.
Yeah.
But he looked incredibly awkward cussing. Oh, am I the only one that's weirded out by his cussing? Like, it's almost like he was
Stephen A.
using them wrong. Like, he was using the cuss words wrong.
It's kind of
awkward. Like he said, suck my ass, you uncle fucker. Like he just didn't use them correctly. You know what I'm saying? It was real. Yeah. He said, yeah, you fat bastard, you bitch. It was weird, bro. It was weird. Like, even that Smith cussing was weird. It was like it was the same feeling you get when you find out your teacher's first name in high school. You go to the liquor store, you turn around and Miss Cole is behind you. This is really weird. It's not illegal, just weird.
Commander Lawrence says, ready for a fun train on the league next year? Yeah, man, let's run a train on the league next year. I'm
whoa,
down.
In the era of order of freakouts, we can't talk about that no more, man.
Hey, Commander Lawrence, thank you for tuning in, man, from Facebook. We love you. And Nat Rivers, man, thank you. Says, great show, fellas. Tune in, man. Tune in. We'll be back Monday. Normally during the season, we're Monday, Thursday live streams. We're trying to figure out when we go back to a single week live stream and then something else. But if y'all keep us going, We might stay 2 a week. We'll see. Normally in the off season, we go back to a single week live stream. We just pump out content on the side. But if there's a demand signal for 2 lives a week, then we'll keep it going. We'll see what happens. Y'all gotta let us know. Jimmy has a question. Says, why did you give your wife 2 black eyes? Jimmy, you gotta finish it.
Nothing. You already told her twice.
That's not how I know that joke.
It's nothing because you've already told her twice. I know this joke.
What do you tell a woman who has 2 black eyes? Nothing. You told her twice already.
Right. We know that joke.
Oh, Jimmy's different. He says, why do you give your wife 2 black eyes?
Bro.
Jesus.
Nat Rivers gave Dev the womp Dev. Ryan's going to see Cat in North Carolina next week.
I saw Cat in 2015 in Baltimore.
What's white on the outside and black on the inside?
White on the outside and black on the inside?
Whitney Houston's nose. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. I'm sorry, man.
What do you call a guy? What do you call a guy with a short dick?
Asian.
Justin. Yeah, Justin. What do you call a guy with a giant dick? Phil.
Balls.
He says the future so bright for the Commanders. Commander Lawrence says 2 live crew. All right. For those watching in the chat, thank you so much. Commander Lorian, Jimmy Lee, T-Ho, Nat Rivers. Phil, give us the Facebook attendees tonight. Marcus Yam, Todd Samuel, as always, giving us the nonstop talk. We appreciate you. Jimmy Lee, Yam. Who else tuned in from Facebook? We had a couple more from Facebook.
A lot of them jumped over. Commander Nash. Jay Nash was in there. Postolero, Leonardo was in here. Nat Rivers, of course. I think he jumped over to YouTube as well. So it was mostly YouTube guys tonight. Also, Kat and JC from Twitter or X. Start saying it right.
Yeah.
So Ryan Elias just broke out one of the oldest black jokes in the history of mankind.
Dev, here you go. Jimmy said this is an off-season podcast, dirty jokes. That's right.
Oh my God.
Here you go, Dev. Where do you hide money from a black man? Ryan said his work boots. Love, peace, and hair grease, Nat Rivers. Thank you much, man. Appreciate it. Hey, don't forget to hit that like button for us and make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification button. Like I said, we will have content on Mondays and Thursdays. We'll be back Monday, at least wrap up the games. And hopefully by then we'll have a decision on a new GM that we'll be able to talk to. So, Yes. Thank you for tuning in. Also, don't forget this podcast is also available on audio platforms. So if you're commuting to work, want to hear something on your Apple or Spotify or your iHeart or your Odyssey or your Google, just search for Command This. And every one of these episodes that we do on this platform is available for audio downloads. All right, fellas. Any parting shots before we piece up out of this biatch?
How's a girlfriend like a laxative?
I don't know.
No.
Both irritate the shit out of you.
There you go. I need to have a laugh.
That's racist.
How's that racist?
I need to have a laugh one in here too somewhere. Man. All right. We love you guys. As always. Peace. Inhale.
Hell.
We out of here, guys. See ya.